This video is sponsored by Desky. This is my desk setup that I built in the beginning of 2024, and as the year progressed I kind of changed a few things here and there, mainly those huge speakers that you see. I probably didn't tell you about it on the channel, so I want to give you an update on that and some other items that I kind of changed and added to this setup. But those are not the only things that I'm going to change. I got reached out by many brands last year, and I just ended up not working with those brands or giving those desks away to my friends. But Desky piqued my interest because not only it was a solid wood desk, it's a larger desk that I could accommodate these speakers better. You see, this desk is a build from IKEA and some legs from Amazon. So when I got the top, I kind of chipped out, and that was my budget at the time, and I went with the oak finish versus the walnut finish because it was a little bit more expensive. But that ended up biting me in the ass because I kind of wanted a more walnut finish. I did try to stain it, but maybe because it was oak, it couldn't take the stain. It could be user error as well. But that was the thing that was annoying me about my desk. You guys know I create content, so when I'm posting my pictures, it was annoying me that the desk was just a little bit too yellow and I wanted a more walnut finish. Yeah, so this desk gotta go and we gotta bring in our new one. But before we do that, welcome to the channel. My name is Kaimar Salizi, and this is where I share my love for tech and desk setups. If you guys like this type of content and this is inspirational to you, please consider subscribing. And if you see anything on this video, check out on the link below. I know a lot of people ask about my prints, the One Piece brothers. So if you like this type of stuff, check my link in bio. Like I said, this desk is a solid wood. That means it's heavy as hell. And if you're doing this by yourself, just be careful so this doesn't come down on your toes or anything. At this point, I've assembled many desks, so it doesn't really make a difference to me if it takes me extra 20 or 15 more minutes. But what I appreciate is the fact that this desk comes with pre-drill holes that just makes things much faster. So it took me about 20 minutes or so, and probably a little bit longer just because I was filming. But if you're doing this on your own, it should take you around 15 to 20 minutes. I'm also adding casters to this because I like my desk to move around. Just because if I'm adding and removing something, I want to be able to access my cable management. So I'm trying out these casters from Desky. Usually I go for more rubbery desk casters, but I'm giving a try to this one and see how it's gonna go. And just looking at this desk fully assembled, I'm gonna say wow. Yeah, the dimensions did not lie. This is a much larger desk, and luckily it's not gonna live on this space for much longer, because if you watch my last video, you know that I announced that I got a new space and I'm building that out. Don't worry, I'm gonna start dropping content on there, but soon this desk is gonna be moving to that space, so it's not gonna feel like too cramped in this office, because it kind of does look like it's a little bit too big to be in here. This desk solid top did not disappoint. It's exactly how I envisioned and how I saw it from the website, and it looks even better. Now this desk also comes with a control module with 4 programmable buttons, but one of the coolest things is that it comes with the app that you can use to lower and raise your desk, and you can also set voice commands with Siri. So if you're an anime fan, you're gonna love this, because I programmed this desk to go up when I say, "Hey Siri, arise." Like in Solo Leveling. That to me is freaking cool. Just one thing to notice is that the top is very sleek and smooth, which could be prone to scratching easily, so just be careful with that. But with some furniture oils, you can easily repair those scratches. I'm not gonna lie, I'll be very upfront with you guys. One thing that I'm very skeptical about are cable management trays. Just because I think some are too finicky and some things are not too thought out. That's why on my previous build, I built my own cable management from scratch. But on this one, I'm giving it a try, and I am gonna do the best of my ability to make this work. But later in the video, I'm gonna tell you more about this cable management tray from Desky. What I like so far is the way it assembles. It assembles fairly easy, and I like the fact that it kind of like swivels. But I'm super curious about these cutouts on the front. I do love the fact that it comes with 9 connection points of power, meaning this integrated cable and data channel is going to power 9 of your devices plus 3 USB-A and 3 USB-C ports. And this enclosed adjustable design is meant to keep cables protected and out of sight. All you do is daisy chain these power outlets and you only have one cable leaving, so I do like that. but let's see how this works once I have everything plugged up. This is the point of the build that I like to install my RGB. This one is the Light 2 Pro by Govee. It's a 60 LED per meter. It's the predecessor of the M1. I believe they discontinued that one, so I'm using the 6.5 feet Light 2 Pro. It has true warms, true whites, great for RGB, amazing in brightness, and because it's 60 LEDs per meter, when you have it close to a wall, it's not gonna show dots. That's why I like this. I used to chip out on LEDs and building setups. I just learned that these things will bite you in the butt. So if you're building your setup, I know budget is a big thing, but try to not cheap on lights as much as possible. At least be strategic about it. For my desk shelf, is one thing that I don't compromise on is the setup cockpit by Balolo. Because it's so functional, it integrates so many accessories into this one setup that is modular that I freaking love it. Last year, I actually ended up removing the tray because I wanted to add a mini PC to my setup and it kind of didn't work out. So now I'm bringing back my tray because of storage. This is one thing that was choking me a little bit because I do like to have storage. I just think that when things have their place to go, you have less mess around you. That's just how I think. And this modular system by Balolo is so perfect because they do also come with the large trays for you to have it, again, more storage around you. The iPad holder, the iPhone charger holder for MagSafe, and for your Apple Watch. So with this, you don't have a lot of things on your desk. Everything is just in this one system. My monitor mount is a heavy duty by Vivo. It just works. It's perfect for 49-inch screens and it holds its weight so well. And my monitor is the 49-inch Samsung G9 OLED. This is a beautiful screen. I love the front and the back of this panel, but again, it is an OLED. A lot of people have concerns about burnouts. I haven't experienced burnouts because the technology has actually improved a lot in a few years. The text is very clear to me as well, and you get those deep blacks with very rich colors. Okay, those massive speakers I was telling you about. These speakers are the Q3 Matters by CAF, and they are freaking massive. For a setup, it's very unusual, but I love bass, I love music, and I just thought that it's gonna be something that's gonna complement my screen and the desk for being so big. It would look a little bit off with smaller speakers. For the stands, I'm using the Cantu stands. I'm gonna put the specific model below, but these are metal and are beautiful. They also have a channel on the back for you to route the cables. They're very aesthetic. They go with the speakers, and I'm also pairing these speakers with the CAF 8-inch subwoofer. Desky also sent me over their felt desk mat. On one side is felt, on the other side is cork. It doesn't stay in position very much. I like it to have some kind of grip, but I'm not stressing too much about it. To power the speakers, I'm using an amplifier from Valortiva. It takes 4 types of connections: RCA, Bluetooth, auxiliary, and USB. I mainly use it in USB, and even though it's underneath the desk shelf, it doesn't produce heat at all. I can blast music for hours, and even to the touch, this thing stays freaking cool. For my docking station, I use the TS4 by CalDigit. This dock is a freaking beast. It has a ton of connections on the front and on the back, and this is the reason why I'm able to connect to my MacBook and have the full resolution available successfully. A lot of people have messaged me and complain about this with their monitors, and I'm gonna tell you, this is one of the things that can save you, is having a proper dock. It doesn't necessarily need to be this one, but you need a dock with at least Thunderbolt 4, or just get a super fast USB-C to USB-C cable when you're plugging your monitor straight into your Mac. But because I have a ton of things that I need to plug, I have to have a dock. And the audio interface from a mic input, I use the Evo 4 by Audient. I've had this thing for 2 years now. It's just perfect. It works. The only thing I use this for, again, is for my microphone input, because I do want to have quality audio when I'm producing these videos for you guys. Since I was kind of updating this, I thought, why not just update my microphone? I've had that microphone for almost 3 years. It worked great, but it could be a bit better. So I got the Shure MV7 Plus just for better audio quality. And for the boom arm, I'm using a long boom arm by X-Tech. I like it because it can reach almost the center of my desk, and I can put it away when I'm not using it. I also have a loop deck control module just to access some apps easier, but the most important thing is the volume control knob, because I'm using these mechanical keyboards that sometimes don't have compatibility with the Mac system. I wanted a way that I could lower and increase my volume regardless of what keyboard I was using. This is the Live S. That means it's great for streaming. So if you're a streamer or you're gonna be streaming, especially when the GTA 6 drops, this could be the thing for you. My mouse of choice is still the MX Master 3S by Logitech. I wish it was metal, just because this mouse dirties up a lot and retains a lot of oil. Thank God I don't have the white one. but I love this mouse. It's very versatile, especially if you're a creator or you use multiple sets of apps. You can customize this mouse to different actions on specific apps, so it's really useful. My keyboard that I'm currently using is the Maggie 65 by iQuinix. It's a low-profile aluminum body mechanical keyboard with swappable switches. I think that is very elegant and aesthetic, and it feels very nice to type in this. And it so happens that on this Pro version, it has some volume controls on the side as well, so I don't have to always reach to my loop deck. I can use these controls, and I can also control my music player like skip track, pause, and all that. You can connect this via Bluetooth, but they also include the dongle that you can connect to your computer. It's got a lot of layers of sound dampening, and it makes this keyboard sound really good. Alright, I know you guys gonna ask, that display right there on the side is by the Voom. It's called the Times Gate, and I personally use it just to display my channel information. But you can go on the app and you can customize this. There's a huge library of pixelated art that you can have fun with, so go check it out. My laptop holder is by Balolo as well, and I like to place this in front of my monitor arm just because I like to hide the arm. This to me gives the feel like the monitor is actually floating, or some people even wonder if it's wall mounted. So to reduce eye strain when I'm working on the dark, I like to add a light bar on top of my monitor. This one is the Screen Bar Pro from BenQ, and besides having the options of adjusting the brightness and temperature, my favorite thing is the motion sensor. I don't have to worry about turning this on and off. I can just walk up to my setup and this light comes up and lights up my desk. And no, it doesn't wash away my screen as long as you angle it properly. To add more light to the setup, I'm adding this table lamp that I found on Amazon. The dome is actually glass versus the plastic that I had last year, and now I can switch from warm to cool light and dim it up and down. I feel like it's very aesthetic, adds an extra pop to my setup. I just like it. For additional storage, Desky also sent me their desk drawer. The installation is pretty straightforward. You kind of have a guide with the instructions, and you can get the face to match the top of your desk. I'm going with the walnut because of course, but you can check out their website for more options. And so it's not just a random drawer. I actually wanted to keep this organized, and if you guys follow me on Instagram, you know that I 3D print a lot. So I'm using something called the Graffinity system. This is a system by a genius in the community that basically made it so that anybody can customize their storage solutions to fit them. So I just went ahead and took measurements and added the things that I frequently use for quicker access. All right, once I had everything plugged up, it was time for cable measurements, and I know I have a lot of freaking cables, but this is the absolute minimum that I can have to do what I do. Especially when you're adding speakers with subwoofers, the amount of cables that adds to your setup is insane. Without going super in depth, my approach to cable management is to gather all my cables from my monitor into a single strand and have it as close as possible to my monitor arm. I want everything to go behind my monitor arm so that you don't see any cables going from the monitor to the desk. And then I separate everything to categories. Cables that have to be plugged to the dock, cables that have to be plugged to the amplifier, and cables that just need power. And so I don't have a bunch of USB bricks to power all these devices. I typically use this charging station that has many outlets, USB-C and USB-A, that I can just take advantage and plug all my devices. So my whole idea was to route these cables through between under the desk and the cable management tray, just because I feel like the cable management tray access didn't quite work for me, because I have one, a lot of cables, and two, some of my devices have large bricks. That also caused a second issue on my experience. It became a little bit too crowded to the point that if I want to take this apart, or if I want to remove a device or even add, it's gonna become a little bit of a headache just because it's so many cables and it's cramped to a cable channel. Now, I like the fact that I can access everything to the front. One thing though, I was gonna suggest, if these access points could be put on the back of the desk, that would be better, because the idea of cable management is actually to hide the cables from visibility from the front of the desk. So to Desky, please change that up if it's possible, because physically I cannot actually reverse this cable channel. I have to use this way, and probably they intended this to be used in a different way, but these are my honest thoughts on this cable tray. The 9 power access points are great. They could be on the back for better aesthetics. I like that it swivels and it has plenty of frontal access, and for a regular user that doesn't have this many amount of devices, you probably will be fine. My chair is the Herman Miller, specifically the Embodied gaming chair. This is by far the most comfortable chair I've sat on. The cushion is super soft, the material is aging very well, the colors match my vibe, and I also paired with the Stealthful wheels, which are the best wheels in the game for any chair. But if you want to know everything about this chair, I made a dedicated review on the channel, so go check it out. So the final thing that Desky sent me was this balance board that I like it just because it adds a little bit more movement. If you work from home, there's a little bit of stagnation that can happen. I know this because that happens to me. And this balance board is great because you can still swivel a little bit when you're sitting down. But for those of you that have a standing desk, when you're standing, you can still kind of rock back and forth just to add a little bit more movement and blood flowing. Around the setup, everything else is staying the same. The wall panels are from the wood veneer hub, my 3 custom prints on the top with the One Piece brothers. I also have a floor light bar by Govee on the right hand side, and those floating shelves from IKEA on the left hand side with Darth Vader, a few plants, and my seal of approval from TechSource. And another addition to my setup is another 3D printer to the side that I'm going to talk about on another video. But this is it, guys. This is my 2025 desk setup update. If you have any questions for me, please drop in the comments below and I'll be sure to answer you because I do read all my comments. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe this video. Thank you guys for checking this one out. Kaimar signing out. Peace.